How did Frederick Douglass interpret the Constitution? Have you ever wondered how one of the most influential figures in American history viewed the very document that governs our nation? Frederick Douglass had a unique interpretation of the United States Constitution that set him apart from many of his contemporaries. He believed that the Constitution was fundamentally an anti-slavery document. Douglass argued that, when understood correctly, it supports liberty and justice for all, including Black Americans. Many abolitionists at the time saw the Constitution as a pro-slavery compact. However, Douglass took a different stance. He believed that the text and principles of the Constitution could be powerful tools in the fight against slavery. He examined key provisions often cited as supporting slavery, such as the 3/5 Clause and the Fugitive Slave Clause. Douglass argued that these clauses did not endorse slavery as a positive institution. For instance, he interpreted the Fugitive Slave Clause not as a blanket endorsement of slavery but as applying only to individuals held to service or labor under contract. He pointed out that Congress had the power to end the importation of slaves starting in 1808, showing a constitutional mechanism to limit slavery. Douglass also saw the power to suppress insurrections as a potential basis for abolishing slavery if it was the source of rebellion and unrest. Douglass rooted his interpretation in the natural rights philosophy found in the Declaration of Independence. He viewed the Constitution as a legal framework that should align with higher moral laws affirming human equality and liberty. He believed that the spirit and letter of the Constitution called for opposition to laws like the Fugitive Slave Act of 1850. Douglass saw such laws as unconstitutional because they violated fundamental rights. Unlike some abolitionists who rejected the Constitution entirely, Douglass argued that it did not guarantee the right to hold slaves as property. He believed the Constitution could be used as a tool for abolition by electing officials committed to ending slavery. His approach focused on the actual wording of the Constitution rather than the intentions of the founders. Douglass also reinterpreted clauses empowering the federal government to suppress insurrections and domestic violence. He argued that these powers were often misused by pro-slavery presidents but could be legitimately used to end slavery and suppress slave rebellions. This view anticipated how President Abraham Lincoln would use constitutional authority during the Civil War to abolish slavery. In essence, Frederick Douglass viewed the Constitution as a document that, despite its compromises with slavery, ultimately supports freedom and equality. His interpretation challenged pro-slavery readings by emphasizing the Constitution's alignment with natural rights and justice. This perspective became a foundation for Black Americans' struggle for liberation and civil rights throughout United States history.